Fire destroys 15 buildings at Puruni Landing, Mazaruni River, Region No. 7. A devastating fire broke out today at approximately 10:40 hours, completely destroying 15 buildings at Puruni Landing. Among the structures lost are hotels, a nightclub, a restaurant, and a fuel bond. The total extent of the damage is still being assessed, but initial reports suggest significant losses. The affected properties belong to 4 business owners. Yvette MacDonald, a businesswoman from Enmore, East Coast Demerara, owned 9 of the destroyed buildings. Floyd Elcock, a businessman from Norton Street, Georgetown, lost 4 buildings. Otis McKenzie, a businessman from Greenwich Park, East Bank Essequibo, lost 1 building. Williams Cozier, a boat captain from Tushin Housing Scheme, East Bank Essequibo, also lost a building. The fire scene was visited around 14:30 hours by Senior Superintendent Dion Moore, Police Commander for Regional Division No. 7, along with Detective Inspector Henry, Crime Scene Technician Hopkinson, and other ranks. Preliminary investigations reveal that the fire originated at Miner's Choice, an establishment owned by Yvette MacDonald, which comprised 3 hotel buildings, a restaurant, workers' living quarters, a fuel bond, a nightclub. The business also stored and sold gasoline and diesel, both wholesale and retail. The fire reportedly started while a worker was handling fuel sales at Miner's Choice. A spill during the process is believed to have ignited, quickly spreading to other buildings within the compound and neighboring structures. Floyd Elcock's property included a grocery store, hotel, and restaurant, and he also stored and sold fuel in bulk. Otis McKenzie operated a drugstore, while Williams Cozier's building served as a residence. Several rooms in the Miner's Choice establishment were occupied when the fire broke out. It is currently unknown if all occupants managed to evacuate safely. Authorities suspect that 2 individuals may have perished in the blaze, but this has not been confirmed due to the extent of the damage and debris. The fire was eventually contained through the efforts of community members, who used a dredge engine from the Puruni River to help extinguish the flames. Despite their efforts, Police ATV 3129, used by officers stationed at Puruni Landing, was also destroyed. The total value of the damage is still being determined, and none of the affected buildings were reportedly insured. The investigation remains ongoing as authorities work to determine the full scope of the incident. Man charged with assaulting police officer and threatening behavior at Georgetown Police Station. Nicholas Escott, a 26-year-old self-described jack of all trades, appeared before Senior Magistrate Fabio Azor at the Georgetown Magistrates Courts on Monday, facing charges of assault and using threatening language. The charges stem from an incident on September 30, 2024, at the East La Penitence Police Station, where Escott allegedly assaulted police officer Alaska Burnett while the officer was on duty. In addition to the assault charge, Escott was also accused of using threatening language toward another individual, Dexter Thomas, at the same location on the same day. Representing himself in court, Escott pleaded not guilty to both charges. Magistrate Azor granted bail, setting it at $25,000 for the assault charge and $10,000 for the threatening language charge. The case has been adjourned, and Escott is scheduled to return to court on November 11, 2024, for further proceedings. Man fatally stabbed while urging cousin to leave party. Tragedy struck on September 30, 2024, when 23-year-old Mason Eaton Calistro was fatally stabbed while attempting to convince his cousin to leave a gathering in Kuru Kururu village, along the Soesdijk-Linden Highway. According to police reports, the incident occurred at approximately 2:30 a.m. on Sand Road, Kuru Kururu, where Calistro and his family had been attending the Kuru Kururu heritage celebrations at the community center ground the evening before. The celebration, filled with activities and alcohol consumption, took a devastating turn when Calistro approached his cousin, Charlene, asking her to return home. Charlene, who had been partying with a group of men, refused to leave. This refusal led to a confrontation between Calistro and the group. During the ensuing scuffle, one of the men reportedly stabbed Calistro in the left side of his chest. Despite his attempt to flee, he collapsed roughly 50 feet from the scene. Callistro's 37-year-old brother, Kempton Calistro, rushed him to the Diamond Diagnostic Center, where he was pronounced dead by medical staff. The police, who have since launched an investigation, noted that the area where the stabbing occurred is a dark sand track with bushes on both sides and no lighting. No CCTV footage has been found in the vicinity, though blood samples have been collected from the scene for analysis. Authorities are continuing to gather statements and evidence in an effort to apprehend those responsible for the killing. Stevedore woman fined for wounding neighbor and disorderly conduct. B.B. Richards, a 24-year-old mother from the Stevedore housing scheme, South Ruimveldt, was fined a total of $45,000 after pleading guilty to charges of unlawful wounding and causing a public disturbance during a heated altercation with her neighbor. Appearing before Senior Magistrate Fabio Azor at the Georgetown Magistrates Courts on Monday, Richards admitted to wounding her neighbor, Eunice Gordon, and throwing bottles at her during the incident, which occurred on September 25, 2024. According to court details, an argument between the two women escalated when Richards began hurling bottles at Gordon, creating a public disturbance and putting her safety at risk. The confrontation intensified when Richards slashed Gordon with a broken bottle, inflicting injuries. For the charge of unlawful wounding, Richards was fined $35,000, with a possible 2-month prison sentence if the fine is not paid. She was also fined $10,000 for disorderly conduct, with a 2-week prison sentence if that fine remains unpaid. In a separate charge, Richards is accused of damaging a window belonging to Gordon, valued at $18,000, during the same incident. She pleaded not guilty to the charge of property damage and was released on $20,000 bail. The case has been adjourned to October 21, 2024, when Richards is expected to return to court to collect statements regarding the property damage case. Ratan Tata, former chairman of Tata Group, passes away at 86. Ratan Tata, the former chairman of Tata Group and a visionary leader who transformed the Indian conglomerate into a global powerhouse, has passed away at the age of 86. The Tata Group confirmed his death in a statement released late on Wednesday. Tata had been receiving intensive care at a Mumbai hospital, according to sources familiar with his medical condition. Ratan Tata, the great-grandson of the group's founder, joined the Tata Group in 1962 after completing a degree in architecture at Cornell University. Rising through the ranks of various Tata companies, including Tata Motors Ltd. and Tata Steel Ltd., he took over as chairman in 1991 when his uncle, J.R.D. Tata, stepped down. His tenure coincided with a critical period of economic liberalization in India, and he quickly established a reputation as a forward-thinking leader. He implemented changes within the Tata Group by introducing retirement ages, appointing younger leaders, and centralizing control over various Tata entities. Ratan Tata's leadership was marked by bold moves to expand Tata Group's presence globally. In 2000, Tata made headlines with the acquisition of British tea company Tetley for $432 million. This was followed by the 2007 purchase of Anglo-Dutch steelmaker Corus for $13 billion, at that time the largest ever takeover of a foreign company by an Indian firm. In 2008, Tata Motors acquired British luxury car brands Jaguar and Land Rover from Ford Motor Company for $2.3 billion, solidifying the group's status on the international stage. Among his key contributions was the establishment of Tata Consultancy Services, TCS, which went public in 2004 and grew to become one of the world's largest IT services firms. He also spearheaded the creation of Tata Teleservices, further diversifying the group's portfolio. Man arrested with 696 grams of cannabis and police radio set in New Amsterdam. A 30-year-old construction worker, Conata Simpson, was arrested on Monday after police discovered 696 grams of cannabis and a police-issued radio set at his residence in New Amsterdam, Burbus. Law enforcement officers conducted the raid at approximately 4 p.m. During the search of Simpson's home, a large plastic bag containing what appeared to be cannabis, including leaves, seeds, and stems, was found under a table. Simpson immediately admitted ownership of the drugs, reportedly telling officers, "Officer, is me weed." Further inspection of the premises revealed another plastic bag containing 60 smaller transparent bags filled with cannabis. In addition, a police radio set was discovered inside a bedroom cupboard drawer, along with 2 camouflage shirts suspected to be military gear. All items were seized and transported to the Central Police Station in Burbus, where the cannabis was officially weighed. Police have since confirmed that the radio set belongs to the Guyana Police Force, GPF. Simpson remains in custody, and investigations are ongoing. Attorney General clarifies that opposition leaders' agreement not required for police commissioner appointment. Attorney General Anil Nandlal has confirmed that President Irfan Ali is constitutionally empowered to appoint Mr. Clifton Hicken as the substantive commissioner of police without needing the agreement of opposition leader Aubrey Norton. Speaking on his television program Issues in the News on Tuesday, Nandlal emphasized that the Constitution of Guyana requires meaningful consultation between the president, the opposition leader, and the chairperson of the Police Service Commission before appointing a police commissioner. However, the Attorney General clarified that the Constitution does not require the opposition leader's agreement for the appointment to proceed. Nandlall explained that the process of consultation has already taken place, with the President sending a letter to both the opposition leader and the chairperson of the Police Service Commission on September 4, 2024. In the letter, President Ali informed them of his intention to appoint Mr. Hicken, who is currently serving as acting police commissioner, to the substantive post. The President wrote to the leader of the opposition and the chairman of the Police Service Commission to inform them that he proposes to appoint Clifton Hicken as the Commissioner of Police, Nandlall outlined, adding that Mr. Hicken's curriculum vitae was also provided as part of the consultation process. Despite the consultation, opposition leader Norton has expressed his disapproval of Hicken's appointment and has indicated his intent to challenge the decision in court should the President proceed. Nandlall dismissed the likelihood of such a challenge succeeding, stating, "If Mr. Norton believes that consultation or meaningful consultation requires a face-to-face meeting, then he is hopelessly wrong." The Attorney General reiterated that while certain key judicial appointments, such as the Chancellor of the Judiciary and the Chief Justice, do require the opposition leader's agreement, this is not the case for the appointment of the police commissioner. He further noted that the President holds the constitutional power to make the appointment after consultation has taken place. The Minister of Governance, Gail Teixeira, had previously signaled that the appointment of Mr. Hicken was imminent, citing the President's reasoning for the decision. Linden leaders demand dialogue with government over increasing Venezuelan migrant population. News source Guyana reports leaders of Linden are calling for urgent dialogue with the government as over 600 Venezuelan migrants have settled in communities across the town, putting a strain on local resources. The officials, led by Mayor Sharma Solomon, are voicing frustration over the lack of engagement from national authorities despite repeated appeals for intervention. Mayor Solomon expressed disappointment after Minister of Foreign Affairs, Hugh Todd, visited Linden recently. The minister met with Venezuelan migrants and political affiliates but did not engage with the regional or municipal leaders who have been raising concerns about the migrant situation. "Our town has been on the front lines of addressing the concerns surrounding the migrant situation, and the voices of our residents who have legitimate questions and concerns have been overlooked by the ministry for too long," Solomon stated. He emphasized that the community has been warning the government since last year about the growing number of migrants and the lack of a system to address the situation. While acknowledging the need to support those in need, Solomon stressed that local officials must be part of the conversation, as their communities are directly impacted by these developments. The lack of engagement with local officials and residents further alienates the very people whose lives are being directly impacted by these decisions, the mayor said. Reports suggest that some migrants have been building concrete structures in areas where the government had previously removed local squatters for developmental projects. This has caused further tensions within the community. Opposition Member of Parliament for Region 10, Germain Figuera, also criticized Minister Todd for his visit, accusing him of bypassing local leadership in addressing the sensitive issue of migrants. "The lack of engagement is not only disrespectful, but raises doubts about the seriousness the minister has attached to the issue," Figuera said. Both Solomon and Figuera have called for immediate steps to open a dialogue between the government, regional leaders, and the people of Linden to ensure that all perspectives are taken into account. The government has yet to publicly address these concerns. ExxonMobil reiterates no interest in renegotiating 2016 production sharing agreement. President of ExxonMobil Guyana, Alastair Routledge, reaffirmed the company's stance against renegotiating the 2016 production sharing agreement, PSA, at a press conference held on Wednesday at ExxonMobil's New Market Street, Georgetown headquarters. Routledge's remarks come amid calls from opposition political figures, particularly from leader of the opposition Aubrey Norton, who has expressed intentions to invoke a clause in the PSA to seek better terms for the country if elected to government. Norton, leader of the People's National Congress (PNC), has cited Article 32.1 of the PSA as providing opportunities for the government to engage ExxonMobil in discussions to potentially increase benefits for Guyana. "We have said Article 32.1 of the PSA provides a wide range of opportunities for us to engage ExxonMobil and increase the benefits for the people of Guyana," Norton stated. However, Routledge firmly stated that ExxonMobil is not interested in invoking the clause, highlighting that the current PSA has been pivotal in attracting investment into Guyana's oil sector, which had previously seen no discoveries. "We have no interest to invoke that article," he said. The PSA has faced significant criticism, particularly for its low royalty rate of 2%, the absence of ring-fencing provisions, and broad cost recovery clauses. Despite this, ExxonMobil maintains that the agreement has played a key role in driving substantial investments in Guyana's nascent oil sector. Routledge noted, We can always cherry-pick how somebody has higher royalty or lower royalty, but it's about the total amount of revenue that's generated out of the petroleum agreement that's really important to the country. You can have a larger percentage of a small number, or you can have a fair share of a much larger number. The company has committed over $55 billion to Guyana, and according to Routledge, renegotiating the agreement would threaten future investments. While the current People's Progressive Party, PPP, administration shares public dissatisfaction with aspects of the 2016 PSA, it has opted not to push for renegotiation, citing the potential adverse impacts on ongoing investments. President Dr. Irfan Ali has previously emphasized the importance of managing the existing agreement while ensuring better terms for future contracts through new model PSAs, which feature higher royalty rates, a reduction in cost recovery from 75% to 65%, and retained profit sharing.